Hello, welcome to Bible Creatures Unveiled. In today's episode, we'll explore the fascinating metaphor of humans as sheep in the Bible, uncovering the deeper meanings behind this comparison. Along the way, we'll also discover important lessons we can learn from one of God's most humble creatures, the sheep. In the Bible, there is a common metaphor that compares human beings to sheep. It's a concept that we see woven throughout Scripture, from the Old Testament to the New. But why, in a world of such complexity, are we so often likened to these gentle creatures? In this video, we'll explore why the Bible uses the image of sheep to describe people, what it means for our lives, and how this metaphor carries deep significance. Let's begin with one of the most famous references. In Psalm 23, David writes, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters." Here, David, the psalmist, compares God to a shepherd, guiding and providing for his flock. But the people of Israel are also often referred to as the sheep, and this comparison is a powerful one. So why sheep? First, it's important to understand that sheep are not particularly independent animals. They rely heavily on their shepherd for guidance, protection, and provision. In ancient Israel, sheep were a common part of life. The Israelites knew the behavior of sheep intimately. Sheep are known to follow their leader without hesitation. This dependence is one of the primary reasons people are compared to them. Just like sheep, humans often rely on external guidance, whether from leaders, culture, or their faith. Another reason for this comparison is the vulnerability of sheep. Sheep are defenseless creatures. Unlike lions or bears, they don't have sharp claws or teeth to defend themselves. They are easily startled and can wander off if left alone. This vulnerability is also a reflection of humanity's tendency to stray from the path, as the Bible points out. In Isaiah 53:6 we read, "We all, like sheep, have gone astray. Each of us has turned to our own way." Just as a shepherd watches over the flock, God cares for us in our vulnerability. He sees when we stray, and he seeks to bring us back. In the Gospel of Matthew, Jesus speaks of the lost sheep, showing how much God values each individual. In Matthew 18:12, Jesus says, "What do you think? If a man owns 100 sheep and one of them wanders away, will he not leave the 99 on the hills and go to look for the one that wandered off?" But there's more to the sheep analogy than just vulnerability. Sheep also represent the idea of obedience and following the voice of the shepherd. Jesus in John 10:27 tells us, "My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me." This relationship between the shepherd and the sheep is built on trust. The sheep recognize the voice of the shepherd and follow because they know he will lead them to safety. In the same way, the Bible encourages us to listen for God's voice, to trust him as our guide. Trusting in God's voice means following his teachings, understanding his will, and staying close to him. Just as a sheep knows that the shepherd's care is for its good, we are called to trust that God's plans for us are filled with love and purpose. In Psalm 23, we also see that the shepherd provides rest. He makes me lie down in green pastures. This is a crucial aspect of the sheep analogy: rest and peace. Sheep, like people, are prone to anxiety, fear, and exhaustion. The shepherd provides not just physical care, but emotional and spiritual care as well. In the same way, Jesus promises rest for our souls. In Matthew 11:28, he says, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." But the metaphor of sheep is not just about dependence, vulnerability, or guidance. It also points to something greater: our relationship with God. Just as sheep are known by their shepherd, we are known by God. He calls us to be part of his flock, to trust in him, and follow his voice. In the Bible, the sheep metaphor is a profound reminder of our need for God. It calls us to recognize our dependence, to trust in his care, and to follow his guidance. And in that trust, we find the peace, protection, and purpose we long for. So next time you hear people talk about being sheep in the Bible, remember the rich meaning behind the metaphor. It's not just about following blindly, but about trusting in the shepherd who loves, guides, and leads us to greener pastures. Thank you for watching. May you always find peace and guidance in the care of the shepherd. Remember to subscribe for more content.